Yo, what's good, YouTube? I need to talk about a special topic. Now, I understand with the welterweight division, having its top contenders and all these guys being beasts and everything, and it's just the division is just fucking stacked. And I get that. But when do we stop overlooking certain fighters and their abilities as far as what they contribute to the division and how far they are in the welterweight rankings? Because it's a fighter to me that's just been impressive as hell. I understand Colby is next to fight for the title, and rightfully so. But I feel as though this fighter should stop being overlooked. And the fighter I'm talking about is Leon Edwards, because Leon Edwards is on like a 10 fight win streak in the welterweight division, but for some reason he's not the next guy in line. And the reason I say that is because Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz, who I like both of them. I like both of them. I like both of them. They're both my guys. I appreciate and respect what they do, but at the same time, the fact that they might be getting a shot over Leon Edwards is fucking insulting. Like, it's so insulting to the point. Like, makes me believe like the sport is literally built off of talking, whereas opposed to back in like the Brock Lesnar era or opposed to the Chuck Liddell era, fights were sold off of who fought who and how they won. Whereas now I feel like most fighters, they can talk a big game and they can get a title match. You feel me? You don't even have to necessarily win fights. You could just talk. Like, for example, Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen was famous for being the guy that almost beat Anderson Silva and talked shit while he did it. But at the same time, he never could get the job done. He couldn't even beat a washed up Fedor. So that just says something about that entirely, because at the simple fact that these fighters, they are overlooked off the simple fact that guys can talk a big game. Now, Colby Covington, he does a great job of playing a bad guy. I will give him that. And he can, I give it to the boy, he can fight. But I can't stand his ass. But at the same time, are we really going to keep overlooking fighters because they can talk? Because I don't respect that. You know what I mean? Because people do that on the street all the time, and those are the main people to get their ass whooped. But that's not here or there. But like, it's sad to see in a way what it has become, because the UFC has rankings and they don't even use their own ranking system. And at the same time, if you look at the people who probably should be ahead of where they're at, I get the Ponzinibbio has been injured, but the man is on like a 5-fight win streak. Vicente Luque is on a 6-fight win streak after he beat Mike Perry. And it's just like, when do you let fighters who actually fight get the heads up as opposed to people who can sell a fight? Because it's a difference, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it's a difference from a motherfucker who can talk a big game, but when it comes time for a fight, they're a dud. And like I said it before, I'm sorry to say it, but Chael Sonnen, a lot of people don't like it because he has a lot of great fans that are loyal to him. But at the same time, bro, Chael Sonnen is the biggest one. All he did was talk a big game. He never won any big fights, to keep it real. The best person he beat on his record is Paulo, what the fuck his name? Paulo, damn, I just had it. I hate when that happens, but anyway, what is the fuck is his name? Paulo Filo. That's his name. My bad. In the WEC, when he was the middleweight champion, he was undefeated. He was the first person to beat Paulo Filo, because Paulo Filo was Ricardo Arona's protege. But that's the best person he beat in his record. But other than that, who else can you got? I mean, Michael Bisping, when he wasn't the count. I mean, when he wasn't Michael Bisping that we know and love now, But other than that, it's like, my point is this. Chael Sonnen loses every big fight to the point where he even loses to washed up guys like Fedor. He should have blew past Fedor, but it was the other way around, because Chael Sonnen just doesn't have it. You know what I mean? Like, he beat a fat ass Rampage. No disrespect to Rampage, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time, especially as far as selling a fight. If anybody could sell a motherfucking fight, it's Rampage. But the point that I'm trying to make is, you let fighters fight. The talking is one part. I like the talking to a certain amount, but that's literally becoming the sport, as opposed to just fighters just doing what they do. Like, I remember the time where Diego Sanchez and Clay Guida beat each other fucking half to death. They came in there with nothing but respect for each other. Motherfucking, who else? Wanderlei Silva, Chuck Liddell, which was like the first UFC super fight in history where you seeing the guy from Pride versus the guy from the UFC, and they just went the fuck at it. You know, it was nothing but respect. But now you got these guys who will come in there and they will sell the fuck out of the fight, and the fight wouldn't even be half as good as we thought it would. Now, I turn not to say this, to say that, does Leon Edwards really have to say or talk a big game just to get the rightful shot that he deserves? Are we really going to give it to Nate and Jorge because they can talk? I mean, I like both of them. They're both great knockout artists. But when it comes to activity and streaks and wins, and as far as who's doing the most to win for fights, like, it has to go to Leon Edwards. So I gotta say to y'all, like, when do we just draw the line and say, look, this guy's up next because this doesn't make any sense? You know, the rankings is bullshit. I like guys that could talk, but this is just not it. Leon Edwards is up next. And I really feel that should happen. Like, I mean, I hear talks that they're going to give him Tyron. I want to see that fight. That'll be a great fight because they're two great fighters, especially him fighting a former champion. But if he gets overlooked one more time, I don't know. Like, I'm tired of dealing with the entertainment process of the UFC, man. Because, like, it's just a shame. It's just a shame to see what the sport has turned into, especially, like, with the Reebok deal, especially with fighters leaving to go to Bellator because they want more money. Like, every single time I log on my social medias or anything, a fighter is complaining about pay. That's sad. You're in the biggest organization in the world that got sold for over $4 billion, and you're complaining about pay. Like, that's sad to me. And now they're talking about setting up fighter unions and shit. It's just like, bro, what the fuck is the sport turning into? But in that case, man, I'm out.